Hey, everybody, welcome back to Article Club. I'm so excited. I'm Mark, by the way, and Melinda's here, co-host Melinda. Melinda, how are you?
I'm good. I'm here. We also have a third co-host. My cat is here in the background, so there might be purring on this audio. She's sitting in my lap.
Fizzy, Fizzy is glorious. And so can you do a
She
little
is.
plug for like
Mm.
cat owners? Because we've mostly been like a dog publication. So what's going on with the cat owners? Why aren't there more cats?
I think there are more cats. I think, first of all, the cats created the internet. Cats are the original memes, if everyone remembers back in the day. Cats are also the funniest on YouTube because cat videos super popular because
But
cats are like little aliens.
But do you think that cats and cat owners are like too good for Article Club? Because seriously, it's only like a 10% rate, cats versus
I
dogs.
don't know. Yeah, I wonder what the correlation is. I mean, I like both. I was gonna say I own a cat. I don't think that's true. I think I
Mm.
pay a mortgage for a cat to live in this house. You know what? Cat owners are people who want to earn the love
Mm.
of an animal.
Mm.
Because a dog is gonna choose you and be really excited. But a
Oh,
cat, you gotta put the work in.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, talking about dogs, it seems like you're sort of turning to the dark side recently.
I've
Merc
always liked dogs.
Okay, well, see, yeah, that's interesting. Yes, but recently you have had a dog in your household, Mercury.
I Mercury is my first foster puppy. He is a lab mix, black lab mix. I really threw myself into the deep end with fostering because that's probably the most rambunctious breed you could ever get. Yes, I had Mercury for 10 days. I've been volunteering with the SPCA down here, and he was one of five in a litter that was found, all boys, all named after planets. He went back to the SPCA last week because there was space on the adoption floor. And today, as we are recording, this is his adoption day. He is going home to his forever family. So
So
excited.
so exciting.
Mm.
And I heard that you were pretty good at the fostering. So like you had some accomplishments. How'd you do it?
Mercury and I achieved potty training, leash walking, and crate training in our short time together. He was also exposed to this cat who set very good boundaries, which he, most of the time paid attention to. I don't know. We achieve goals in the Lim household. That's what we do.
It's so good. Achieving goals and then also continuing to deepen MGC. So MGC, we
Yes,
call it MGC, but it's,
we
Melinda's
do.
Grief Corner. And
Yes.
we sort of, I guess I called it a long time ago, the corner, but it's much more than a corner. And I have to say, I haven't told you this yet, but especially the latest post, I just,
Oh,
I just really love because you were talking about,
oh,
yeah, you were talking about, sort of maybe seeing yourself or like different stages of grief and how you're
yes.
recognizing yourself a little bit, but with the
Yeah.
lens of reading. And so I got to learn a
Yes.
little bit
Mhm.
more about, who you are as a reader. So that was great.
Yes, it's a more uplifting post, this past one. MGC has been really great. Just knowing that it's out there and that hopefully, even if one person reads it and likes it or finds solace in it, I always find to be that's the guiding light of MGC. And I will be starting MGC IRL more letters.
Beth,
Um, through the dinner party. I did some host training last week, so I will start my own in-person grief corner down here in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and coastal Virginia. So that'll be in September. I will report back as to how that goes. And if any article clubbers are in this area and want to join, I will be sharing information about that. So excited to do IRL MGC.
I am excited about that too. And there are article clubbers in your area. And it's very interesting. Like, how I do the HHH. People from across the country are like, where is my HHH in person?
Ah, maybe you
Um,
should do chapters. You should have article club ambassadors, Mark.
but slightly different, I think, than what you're doing,
Yes.
the IRL. But, all good, all for community, all for connection.
Busy's chewing on my mic cord.
Mm. Yeah, that could be a problem. No, it's just so interesting because I've been hearing back, from readers about MGC, and
Mhm.
it's like, people are like, this is really amazing. Like this is
Yay.
especially because like, your voice and they feel like they know you. And then other folks are like, grief is important and grief, like I totally understand where Melinda's coming from and I value it and it's hard, like it's pushing me. It's
It's
like
hard.
challenging me.
Oh, that's
And
good.
like secretly, I think, I don't know, they didn't say this, but secretly it's like, okay, can we have one or two? And then like, can I take a week off? And I'm like, yeah, you can take
Yes,
a
you
week
can
off.
always take a week off. You can take a
You
month off. You can
you
take
can
however long you want.
you can take a week off of the Thursday newsletter, you know,
Yeah.
like, because that's what people are saying actually also. They're saying, like, Mark, why so many negative articles? I can't deal with the world. And I'm like, just take a
Uh,
week off, you know?
yeah, you could go at your own pace. The,
Just
the the publishing is just so that everyone knows there's a cadence, but you get to also have your own cadence, you know?
it's
Life
all
happens.
it's all gonna be fine.
It's all gonna be fine. Bookmark us for later. That's what
Yeah.
I always say on MGC.
Well, except don't bookmark us for, this upcoming article
No,
month.
this is the exception.
Right,
You're
exactly.
not allowed to bookmark this one.
So I'm excited. So it's already sort of been introduced last week because Sarai, who interviewed the author Saint Trey W, went ahead
Mhm.
and like she and I checked in about how it felt to read the piece as well as to interview the author. But
Okay.
now, as we do, you and me, Melinda, I
Mhm.
can't wait to hear about your viewpoint about this piece, which is They Burn Books to Burn Us Too by St.
Mhm.
Trey W in his own Substack. So this guy is really great and he has a Substack publication and he wrote an essay about the idea of banning books,
Mhm.
but it was not in a way that I've ever sort of read it, before. So
Okay.
wanted to get your first thoughts about it.
I found it to be I found it to be galvanizing. I found it to be like an underscore into the experience of, I am not a Black American. My parents are immigrants. I'm Filipino. And so I don't obviously have the same experience as the author, but I still found reflection points where I'm like, yeah, yeah, they're trying to, but they're not going to. Right. Like
Mhm.
I think that's the interesting, like I don't want to say tightrope, but the two sides of this is like, okay, yes, this is a really harsh reality. Also, it's happened before. Also, we've lived through this before. Also, like, it's not the end of our story, And we will go on and we will press on. And so it's almost a way to like, I don't know if this is the author's motivation, but it's like a way to frame these occurrences and inform people of what is happening in case they don't know, because obviously there's so much happening in the news at any given time. But to also be like, you know what, though? Like, this is like they're burning books, but it's also like a fire to motivate people to be like, yeah, and that the resistance is like, you're not going to take it away. Because you've
Yeah.
tried before and you failed. Sorry to Florida's governor for trying. So yeah, those are my reactions. I think about a lot of times like at one point there was the phrase like we're the granddaughters of the witches they burned like around like the women's march and stuff, and I'm like they didn't burn witches, they burned women. And
Mhm.
like yeah, and we're still here. So yeah, try. You can try. But yeah, those are my rambly first thoughts.
I think it's great. I think he really captured what I see in his work, not just in this piece, but other pieces
Mm.
that I've read, which is like he's gonna tell you about bad stuff in sort of like just a very direct and also poetic way. But he's
Yes.
always dreaming. He's always like he's also an abolitionist, but he's also an activist and he is always going to say like no, like they're not going to be successful, as you just said.
Mhm.
And he's always looking, for a better world and not just a better world, like a hopeful better world that's not actually possible. I
Mhm.
really feel like he is looking to like, no, it's not going to happen. Like we are too strong for this.
Something that you just said that I thought that I also felt is the poetic style that he has, right? And that's also something that I think is reflected in his piece because he talks about, right, like we exist in like the hymns that are sung, we exist in humming while people are cooking, right? Like his writing style is lyrical in a way that I think is beautiful. It's elegant and also defiant. Like
Yeah.
that's good writing. That's hard to do, I think, right? He very much has a voice that I feel like is in the tradition that he talks about because it is very poetic. It isn't just, like I mean, not to criticize like other places, but this isn't just like some article that's going to be published in like wherever. Like this is so personal.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really beautiful at the same time of being really powerful.
Yeah, I agree as far as like the combination, of how he writes, which is in an essay form. And he has like economy of language, but the economy is very poetic as well. And
Mhm.
so sentence to sentence, it's like, ooh, you sort of stop. Like I wouldn't normally
Mhm.
stop in an essay, but because
Mhm.
he's sort of like bringing it in a poetic style, I'm like, oh, that was a deep, like, I really like what he's doing. But then the other thing that I really liked, which I don't see, is that he also knows how to organize and structure an overall essay. And
Mhm.
so for example, he's saying like this is not just happening in the American experience. This has been happening and it's been happening internationally. So he talks
Mhm.
about Germany, Nazi Germany. He also
Nazi
talks about
Germany.
South Africa. And he
Yes.
basically says this attempt to burn books, to burn Black bodies is not just an American phenomenon, but then of course he focuses it back. And so he has like these 3 or 4 sections. And I
Mhm.
just feel like he sort of laid out an outline, which was helpful for me. But he could do whatever he wants. And you know how some essays are a little bit more meandering? That's cool too. He could have done that. But for
Mhm.
me, especially like because like I felt like he was making sure that I was going to get his message on the way that he structured it.
Yeah, and I think that is that like doing it in that way, like organizing and having composition in that way allows to invoke something that's very difficult, which is hope, right? Like that's really hard. It's
Hmm.
really hard to sell a message. Like I'm not saying that's what he's doing or like his motivation too, but or to push people to keep going. That's really difficult. I mean, especially after the last presidential election, like it's very difficult now. But I came away with it being like, yeah, absolutely, I'm on board. Like I'm still on board, and I think that is it's a difficult thing to do in a way that's like good writing too and memorable. He has many, many mic drops like in this. He's good with sentences that are like 5 words. I'm like, wow, that's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I like the mic drop piece. And I like how you say about hope. And it seems like you're also saying that it might have galvanized the reader or you to
Mhm.
actually maybe pay attention again. And so like one of the things that I've been noticing in Article Club lately, looking for articles, is there's not a whole lot of hope. There's not a whole lot of activism. Obviously, a lot of folks, who are trying to, I guess, get behind or get beyond just like frustration or
Mhm.
total disillusionment with regard
Yeah.
to like what's going on. Like people are like, why is nobody doing anything? And I feel like it's partly because there's not a whole lot of articles all of a sudden, especially in major publications that are like this. And so I feel like this sort of like got my attention again.
Yeah, we're definitely in an era of like the post-Obama years, right? Hope and change. And I think a lot of people left a lot on the line in the last election and thought that maybe things were going to turn out differently and they didn't. And so I don't blame people for feeling disillusioned. I think it's hard to get people to keep going. But this is like, I mean, it's a piece that's obviously political, but it's not political in the way that like go donate to the DNC. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
more of a personal of like it's a lineage story,
Yeah.
right? It's more of that. It's not necessarily even like it's of the moment, but also like reaching back. And I think there are pieces of art, because I would classify this as art, that are about that, right? That resonate now. And those are the things that resonate now. Like I think like this is a completely different medium, but I think Ryan Coogler's newest movie Sinners is like that in a lot of ways, which is very personal to his family story. That stuff that is kind of like more rooted and less like such and such is running for election tomorrow, donate to their campaign. Not that that's not important, but you know what I mean? Like it's
I
different.
I think that that's really perfect. It's like because this is not that, it's
Hmm.
actually more grounding, it's deeper,
Hmm.
it's more profound.
Hmm.
It gets us away because I think that obviously it must be true that many of us are tired
Yeah.
of all of that old rhetoric because A, it didn't work, and
Yeah.
B, it's tiring. And so like
It's
that's
exhausting.
people, right. And so for Saint Trey to basically be able to not just tell his story, and I love your piece about like lineage, but also sort of like, I guess it was deeply connecting, even though obviously I'm very different from him. And that was the whole point. Well, I don't know if that was his point, but like it was the point for me and the one about like why I basically like really connected with it as well as, shared it with
Mhm.
Sarai and then now to all of us. Everybody gets to read it.
Yeah. And I think there is again like I'm not a black American like I said earlier I don't have the black experience but I think that like it's a point of inflection that he brings up where for me I was like searching in my own like lineage of Yeah, they tried, but they failed, right? And for me, something that came up is the Philippines. Oh, it's a very short history lesson, I promise. Very short. The Philippines was colonized under Spanish rule for like 300 years. One of the things that they took was the language, right? Tagalog is mostly Spanish, but there are words that still are from the actual original Tagalog like language that describe like feelings. Like the words that describe how to feel are still Tagalog. They're not Spanish words. Where like nouns, like the word for table and stuff, that's like, that's all Spanish. Like the words for time and days. And I think that's almost like a form of resistance, right? It's like the emotion that stayed. Like you couldn't take that. Like we weren't gonna give you that no matter how
Mhm.
much you beat us and like killed us and all that kind of stuff. And I think that is true of like other cultures, right? Like Native American people, right, who are like clearly genocided. I don't even know if that's a word, right? By like colonizers. Like there are certain things that you cannot strip away, and we will continue to do that. And he points to that in current times, right? Like, and he talks about that with like Kendrick Lamar and with like Beyonce, like the idea of not in the idea, the reality of art through pain, art through struggle, and excellence through that continues a lineage and pushes future, like right, pushes that forward. I think that's really beautiful. I think that's where the hope comes in because it's like you're not waiting, like it's now, right? Yeah.
Did you feel the hope and
Mhm.
galvanizing throughout, or was there a specific
Yeah.
part?
Yeah, because I think it's like I think when it feels galvanizing, what feels galvanizing is for somebody else to recognize like, yeah, they're trying to steal stuff from us, right? They're trying to like smother us into non-existence, right? And for someone to also recognize that, but then to remind you of like, yeah, but like this is still true, right? Like the stories told around your dinner table are still true, right? Pieces of language are still true. Like your grandmother's recipe that came down from like enslaved people, that's still around. Like yeah, they want to burn books, but like, so what? Try.
Yeah.
Like our stories live on, right? And as long as we can remember that and keep moving forward and celebrate and our lives and our stories and remind people of where we came from, it's not possible to. I mean, Nazi Germany fell, right? Like,
Yeah.
still, that's facts.
Yeah. I like it.
Ugh.
Yeah, I like it very much. I like sort of like what he's sharing with us as well as like your
Yeah.
interpretation. And I want to invite more people to the discussion.
Yes.
I think this is going to be a good one. And so basically we're recording right now. So you're hearing us now. And then next week you're going to get the interview with Saint Trey and Sarai.
Very
I think
excited about that.
it's a beautiful conversation. So be looking for that. And then the following Sunday, which is August 24th at 2 p.m., which is our normal time, Pacific time, we're going to talk about this article. And one of the good things about this article, besides that it's so beautiful, is that it's shorter. And I think,
Selling point.
well, but also I do think that it's not just galvanizing, but I think that a lot of everybody here, all of you listeners, will connect in different ways. Do you agree, Melinda?
I agree. I think it's just beautiful. Like it is poetic. It is beautiful. He has an elegant way of speaking that is really powerful. That's really difficult to do in text. Like that is really difficult to do. And again, it is really difficult to light a fire under people right now on the left. Not to be political about it, but he's able to do that. So I think, you got to take hope where you can these days. So read this and then come to our little, what will hopefully be like a hope circle when
Yeah.
we talk about it.
Yeah, that'll be good. And especially if you're new, this is a kind, thoughtful, generous group. And all you have to do is go to highlighter.cc/discussion to sign up. There'll be more information, but definitely inviting new folks, as well as folks, who have been to Article Club for bazillion times. Come on back for this.
Yes. Can't wait to see all of you there.
Cool. So thanks, Melinda. One last thing is it's August, which is, my birthday month. What are you going to do to celebrate my birthday month?
You're putting me on the spot. Well, I'm going to send you a card because I always send people cards on their birthday.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know what else I should do. What do you want for your birthday?
No,
Is there?
it's not about me. It's about,
Mhm.
all of you all. And I feel
Mhm.
like the problem is that you've already done everything. You've fostered a dog, you've got your cat, you've
I'm
moved
sure there's
in.
other stuff.
But I guess what you're doing is you're going to be doing the MGC IRL. So that'll be good.
Yes, I'm going to get ready to do that in September. So very excited.
Sounds good. Well, thanks, Melinda, so
Mhm.
much.
Bye. Bye, everybody.